Relaxing. It's about that time of the day. So we'll have some fun, but let's see if we can get to 5 by 5 and kind of go from there. And see as the race is on, see if anybody beats Jacob this week. So, all right. Whoops, I might want to catch this first so we don't have the reverb coming in. There we go. I thought I just saw 5 by 5 pop in. Was it? Nope, Jacob still got it. Okay. Prepared for was close. All right. Good evening, gang. So happy Saturday night. Hope you all had a productive day doing whatever you needed to get done. I mean, for me, it was working in the garden. Go figure. But it was a cool day, and so good chance to get some stuff done outside, and that we went. So, all right. So I want to start here because I saw a couple of comments in the comment section before you guys came in case you guys didn't see my video the other day. I know this has been out on other channels. I know it. My email was blowing up yesterday with people asking me. All right, guys, anything that you are hearing online on YouTube, on any websites, on whatever about what DEF CON level we're at is bullshit. Period. Okay. I will tell you this. Most of you guys know my background. Okay. For those of you that don't, okay, I'm ex-Army intelligence. All right. So I think I can speak about this with a little bit of knowledge. Look at these websites that you're looking to. They're .com sites or, some, I mean, I can make up a website with any name I want. Okay. I could, some guy made up defcon.com. Congratulations. Okay. Doesn't mean that that's true. Unless you are seeing this information from a .gov website or from something that's DOD, it's not accurate. Here's why. The Department of Defense does not release to the public what the DEFCON level is. All right. That is for DOD personnel only. All right. So don't worry about whatever movies you've seen and all this sort of stuff. You don't know what the DEFCON level is. Unless DOD leaks it, that's fine. But please just understand this. When you see defcon.com has it. Honestly, if it was put out to the public, don't you think the mainstream media would be all over that, saying this is what it is? Notice you don't see this on, not that I'm a fan of mainstream media, but CNN, Fox, MSNBC, the New York Times, anywhere, okay? It's just some Yahoo out there who's got a website. Like I said in the video, it has as much credence as if Kim Kardashian said that we're at DEFCON 3. So, guys, don't believe any of the bullshit, please. Just want to start with that one. Okay. So, second thing I wanted to talk about, and we've mentioned this before, paying attention to what's going on in the world. I mean, we've seen all the shootings and, Indianapolis the other day and God knows what. Okay. I just want to remind everybody when you're out and about, grocery store, Walmart, pumping gas, whatever. Okay. Situational awareness right now is enormous, because everybody is hanging on like this, scared of what's going on, and people are snapping. All right. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you weren't paying attention to your surroundings and all of a sudden something happens. So, guys, just, go out in pairs. If you're pumping gas, somebody watch while you're pumping gas because you got your head down doing whatever. Keep an eye on your surroundings because you have no idea what's going to happen. And there's enough people that are at wit's end with everything that's happened in the last year right now. Just want you guys to be safe. So, all right. Those are the two things I wanted to get off to start today. So wanted to say hello to everybody here. We got 600 people in here already, so getting busy. That ought to keep my moderators busy. So to my mods, I saw Patriot Sandwich Makers here, Jacob's here, saw North Shore Preparedness is here. You guys are going to be kept busy. And for any of you guys that are trolls in here, just to let y'all know, you don't get a second chance one time and they're gone. Those are their instructions. And mind you, these guys are bulldogs. So we keep a nice PG-13 around here. If you want to bitch, this ain't the place for you. So I will just say now, before you even put your comment up, goodbye, you might as well leave. Because it ain't going to last about 2 seconds, and I certainly won't see it. So there you go. Okay, so see some of the names in here is coming in. America First in here, East Tennessee Preparedness. David Williams from Mexico, obviously. The Rooster is in the house. God, I'm scrolling up to the top. Eileen Wood, Gloria Mason, Chief Jim is here. TJ Squatchy, saw there. RBF Calf, saw that. Yes, thank you. I saw just this real quick. RBF, thank you for agreeing the government doesn't say what DEFCON level we're at. Thank you for knowing that as well. So, okay. But as the crowd keeps on growing, greetings to everybody. We will say hi to all. Okay, so y'all know the rules around here. If you don't, I will kind of tell you real quick. Please put your questions in all caps. This is what we do. We do about 50 minutes of Q&A back and forth. You guys ask, I will answer. I'm not Encyclopedia Britannica, so I don't have all the answers to everything. I'm not going to bullshit you if I don't have the answers. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't have the answer. Okay. I read through the questions from top down, scrolling through. Obviously, I can't answer them as fast as you guys can all type them, so I will get to as many as I can. If I haven't answered your question in, say, about 10 minutes, maybe I haven't got down that far in the list, feel free to throw it up there again. If I see I've already answered the question, I'll move on. But I try to get through as many as I can, but as we get more and more people in here, I don't want to give short, choppy answers. I want to give a complete answer because obviously any question you guys ask is important. So, but like I said, please put them all in caps. I will get to as many as I can. And, you know, as per normal, nothing's off limits. As long as it's clean, we are good. So in that case, let's get started. And I'm going to see where I can find first one. There's a whole bunch of hellos, so that must have been when I came in. Matthew Trucking, not driving today. Stock up groceries today. Good. Yeah. Stocking up groceries. I heard something through the news here this week that we're going to see about another 20% increase in grocery prices by the end of the month. So just be forewarned, guys. If you got funds to do it right now, go buy a little extra right now. Obviously, stuff like fresh vegetables, you're not going to be able to get 2 weeks out. But if you anything else you need, get it now before it's 20% higher. Janice Hutchins scored 7 cases of canning jars today. Nice. Let's see. Where are we? I know I want to get here. Teresa, don't watch the TV or the news. I don't watch TV. I mean, maybe we'll turn on a movie or something like that. I can't watch them either. But the news, I've got a couple of dozen different sites I go to from around the world to see what's going on. So, you know, usually I can get the links and the videos for you guys to where I'm finding this stuff so you can go see what I'm getting. But, okay. Yeah, but you got to read it somewhere because somehow we got to find out what's going on. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm not standing on the ground in Ukraine going, this is live from the scene. Here I am. But, you know, get it as best we can. Let's see. Oops, we just shot all the way to the bottom. So scroll back up. Okay, where are we? Chrissy Drill. If I hear a Kardashian say DEFCON anything, I'm quitting. You win. That's good. Okay. Teresa, no matter what the verdict is, they're going to burn, loot, and murder. Yeah. If you guys, Derek Chauvin thing, I guess the final arguments are going to be made by both sides on Monday. They expect it to go to the jury on Tuesday. So I'm betting by the end of the week, you're going to have a decision there. It's going to be interesting to see how this one comes up because how they got, I mean, how you found an impartial jury in the first place is beyond me because anybody that didn't know what's going on, is crazy. And then, uh, somebody that already didn't have any sort of ulterior motive or an agenda behind it, that's going to make it even more difficult. The most interesting part is going to be what they charge with, because if I remember correctly, he's charged with second degree murder. They can give him third, but that's as far as they can go, and you know damn well that they don't have enough to prove that. So I if I was a betting man on this, I'd say he's going to get acquitted, and that's going to make the whole world blow up over this. So yeah, and then we're gonna. I mean, you saw there were riots all over. It was Saturday here, noon today, and there were riots and protests and everything like that all over the country today. Just imagine what happens after this all comes out. It's going to be last year all over again. Joy. And I always take my little friend wherever I go. Rooster says, and I guess I probably got a good idea what his little friend is. Dave L, where's the booze? No, I'm actually just going to do my NA beer tonight. So that's it for me tonight. Yes. I'm a little too wiped out and itchy to add anything to my body here right now. Let's see. Yes, I'm scrolling and there's all these hellos and everything and looking for questiones. And Teresa says Operation Mockingbird. Look it up. Yeah, I mean that's something to research into. Yeah, I mean it's something to take a look at. Terry Calcal, we have a squatter in the White House. Ain't that the truth? Certainly doesn't have any right to be there as far as I'm concerned. But hey, I don't make those decisions. Lorna P, I only knew you were going live tonight while I was on New York Preppers Live. Yeah, I stopped in there for a few minutes while I was getting ready for this one. Excuse me. New York Preppers done a hell of a job with everything going on with the Ukraine situation right now. So if you guys haven't checked out NY Prepper to find out what's going on over there, he's staying on top of it. I'm staying on top of it. But as you guys know, everybody's got lives too. I mean, like I said, I was out in the garden all day, so if something would have happened, I wouldn't have known at the time. So, always get your stuff from a couple of sources, but he's a good one. Ed Skukas, do I see crypto Bitcoin as being a hedge against inflation? Ed, I'm not a fan of crypto by any means. Okay. My reasoning being is this: it is backed by absolutely nothing. Okay. I mean, you can say, nor is the dollar. Okay. The dollar is at least backed by the full faith and credit of the US government. Bitcoin isn't even backed by that. I mean, Bitcoin was created by some guy in his garage anyway. You got the whole story about Dogecoin right now. That one was a couple of kids who created it as a joke, and now it's worth $30 billion or something crazy like that. My problem with cryptos is very simple. There's actually two. First off, was it this time last year Bitcoin was $7,000 a coin, and now it's like 62 or something like that. Okay, so something that goes up that fast can also go down that fast. That's not going to hedge you against anything if you went from 62 to 7. Okay, before it was at 7, it was at 20. So you had people that lost 60% of their investment right from that bought it at 20 and it dropped to 7. So if you can stomach that kind of risk, which that's not me, okay, then maybe you look at it. The other problem I've got with crypto is, and again, if you look at the World Economic Forum, my favorite thing to talk about here, and their latest war game that they're going to do is on a grid collapse, and they're supposed to do this. I think it's in July. Well, the last one they did was on a worldwide pandemic, and gee, right after they did it, a couple of months later, we had a worldwide pandemic. How convenient was that? So, is this them prepping? It's like, oh, okay, we're going to do we're going to war game out will happen in a grid collapse. Then let's put it in action. Okay, if the power goes out, so does your wealth. Okay, and so I'm not a fan of crypto at all. So I'm probably not the right person to give you advice on it at that point because my answer would be run far, run fast. So, but again, that's my opinion. Uh, Jackie Wood, is there a time when you think you have enough food, like 2 years worth? My, and this may change, my plan has always been 1 year's worth. Okay. And my theory behind the 1 year's worth was that gets me through an entire growing season. So I can grow more the following year and I can keep perpetually having food. Now, the issue where I'm second guessing myself now is kind of with everything that's gone on in the world in the last couple of weeks is if we have any sort of nuclear scenario, all right, which then of course irradiates the ground and then the ground isn't any good. So now I can't grow anything. Somebody made a real good suggestion in the comments a day or two ago about prepping bags of potting soil and being able to grow something in container gardening for an after situation, which I think actually is a good idea. The problem is when you realize how much you need to grow, you can't just put a couple of tomato plants in and go, okay, I've got 2 tomato plants and, some beans or whatever it is. I mean, the amount of food that you need to grow to get your calories is going to be, crazy. So yeah, when you think you have enough, I mean, my plan was always 1 year, and that may get amended because of situations. I mean, and again, there is no. I've said many times, prepping is a journey. It's not a destination. There's not a time when you go, done. It doesn't. There's always something more to do. Okay, and you know you've got to be flexible and adapt to situations. And your question is very good there. 2 years, probably a good start. But again, it depends on how much space you have to put it. I mean, I've got enough space I could put another year's worth of food if I wanted. Not everybody does. So, but no, there's never a time that I think I have enough. The problem is you've got to be able to rotate it, because the last thing you want to do is have 5 years of food and you're throwing out stuff as you're buying new stuff. So, as long as you can rotate it, you're okay. Rob Blackwell, any updates on Ukraine? No, it's been pretty quiet today, hence the reason that there wasn't a second video out today. A couple of things happened, very minor stuff with some ambassadors getting kicked out of the Czech Republic and stuff like that. But there's been no activity whatsoever that I found that was anything even remotely close to newsworthy today. Joe Sixpack, when will be the first 10K drop in the market? Talked a little bit about that this morning, and I don't think it's too far off, guys. When you are seeing the big players, okay, the ones, you and I go want to invest in something, we put $1,000 in or $2,000 in or something in the market. I'm talking about the guys who are dropping $10 million in trades at the drop of a hat. They're not buying. There's no institutional buying going on, or any of the CEOs, CFOs, they're not buying. That's what moves the market. You and me buying a couple of hundred shares doesn't move the market. Okay. Those are the guys that move the market. When they're not buying, that means they're selling, okay, or they're holding. Well, when they start selling, that's when the bottom drops out. Right now, you've got a whole lot of 100 share, 200 share buyers coming in that are propping the market up with all this stimulus money, and everybody thinks, Wall Street is, a casino where you can't lose money. Happened in 2000, happened in 2008, It's just spit money at the market. I told you guys the story about me being a broker. It's like people say, I'm going to take a second mortgage out on the house so I can put it in the market because, I can make more money in the market than the interest costs me on my mortgage. Yeah, until the market goes down. Now you owe the market and you owe the mortgage, Uh, so I still say that you're going to see a Dow somewhere around 18,000 this year, okay, which is about what 16,000 point drop from here, about 50% drop. But that's what gets the PE into the right ballpark. I mean, we're running 40 something on a PE for the market, and fair value is about 17. So that'll tell you how overinflated we are. The market's more than double what it should be. Please explain, Miss KJ777. Please explain the term DEFCON, uh, defense condition. Okay, well, basically all it is. It's a level from 1 to 5 on the readiness state of the military at this point. I mean, if we're at DEFCON 1, that means we're in full blown nuclear war. If we're at DEFCON 5, that means we have world peace. Okay, traditionally we sit around DEFCON 4. I can't tell you. I don't know. I mean, for all we know, we could have been DEFCON 3 for the last 20 years, guys. We've been at war in Afghanistan and Iraq. But again, like I said, it's not public information, so we don't know. But we're either at 3 or 4. I mean, that's going to be it, depending on what it is. But because it's not. What is it? I think the highest we've ever got was DEFCON 2. And that was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So, if you look back in the history, if you're old enough to remember what that is, or go read history on what it was when we had, nuclear missiles parked off of Miami. Yeah, okay, that was a threat. Sinmelli, have I seen where women may have to sign up for selective service? Been trying under Obama and now, yeah. Yes, I have. And it's interesting how this one works, and don't take this the wrong way, guys, but I get such a kick out of especially in the military. If you saw the story a week or so ago, we all remember the story. Oh, women need to be in combat units and everything. Okay, they got into combat units. Women want to go through Ranger School. They want to go through Special Forces School, whatever it would. Okay, But then all of a sudden it was, oh, but we want the standards to be different. And so last week you had the whole thing about the standards on the PT test, your physical fitness test. And they made a generic standard for men and women. And the women started screaming because 60% of them couldn't pass it. Well, I'm sorry, I do agree with you here. Men and women are different, okay? Just physical body strength, we're different. Sure, there are plenty of very weak men out there. There are plenty of very strong women. But in general, men are typically physically stronger than women, okay? So there should be different standards. The problem when you get into combat is if I've got a guy or a girl in foxhole next to me, I'm counting on that person to be able for my life, okay? I mean, they count on me and I count on them. You get the mental part of it. If they aren't strong enough, male or female, can I count on them? And so now you have an issue where you can get into somebody's psyche going, the person next to me is not going to be able to save my butt. Okay. So, I'm all for women in the draft and everything. If we go back to a draft, I think it should be. Everybody wants equal rights, fine. Then, equal rights come with, equal responsibility. But don't come in and say that we want equal rights, but then we want a different set of standards. That's my point. But, I served with women. Granted, this was in the 80s and 90s. I served with women who were very capable. Just like anything else, it depends on the job. I mean, could I pass Ranger School? No, not even when I was in my 20s. I couldn't do it, right? Because I'm deathly afraid of heights, and you're not throwing me out of an airplane. Okay, 3 things fall out of the sky: bird shit, broken airplanes, and fools. I'm none of the above. So that was not going to happen. There are women now that have passed Ranger School. Congratulations, good for them. You're a better man than I am. But I don't see any reason why the women shouldn't be drafted as well. They're perfectly capable of doing 99% of the jobs in the military. Fine. Come on, let's go. You want to be equal? Here's your chance. Uh, Dove Jacobs, I see the videos of Russian troops on the streets of Ukraine. I've seen all sorts of video. I mean, I can't tell you how many videos I've watched. Trucks, trains, tanks, troops, whatever going through. Yes, so I've seen them. Excuse me. Okay. Billy the cab driver loved the Fedora Classic. This is my Saturday night at. So, Raptor Ranch, we had Indian tacos tonight. Mrs. P made sushi tonight for us, so that was our deal. Okay, let's see. Jules, my dog wants to go outside. Dog takes priority. Uh, Minnesota Amateur Garden, latest on Ukraine, Russia. There's basically nothing that's come out. Last I looked at the news was about 8:30 before we went on. There's been nothing. It's been all day. So don't worry about that. Teresa, I look like an old Western actor. Okay, well, I don't know. I kind of feel like I look like I'm Amish here, but that'd be beside the point. Ricky Beerlar, what kind of beef do you use to make Mrs. P here hamburger? Okay, I don't understand the question. To make hamburger, we got a side of beef and added whatever's left over. Some of it was turned into ground beef. That was it. So probably 80-20. Let's see. Oops, there's the scroll up again. Hang on, I gotta find where we are. Okay, I can't get all the way. Roz B says, you turned me on to the book 1 second after. It was fantastic. Any other suggestions? Go read the other two in the series. The second one's 1 year after, continues the story. So the second and third one aren't as good as the first one, but it still gives you a good idea on where to go. But read the whole series. Deanna Walters, how many miles away from fallout do you need to be where it does not affect you? Okay, so depending on the strength of any sort of explosion, you're probably looking at 50 to 100 miles away is going to be your area. Now, when something hits, obviously we all know what a mushroom cloud looks like. It's going to be about, depending on where you are, you can figure about 15 minutes before that radioactive material, the actual fallout, starts coming back down to the ground. So if you see something like that go up, you've got 15 minutes to get inside a building, okay? And again, you all know what we said. You get to that building, you strip off outside, you take all your clothes, you leave them outside, you go inside naked. The very first thing you do is wash off with cold water and a ton of water and a ton of soap. Make sure there's nothing on you best you can. Wash yourself from head to toe and all points in between. All right. Then in the meantime, you're going to be sealing up doors, windows, or whatever in regards to, cracks. I mentioned the other day about the plastic film that you put over your window. We used it up north to keep out drafts. That you stick it up there, you take hair dryer to it. That works. Somebody had a really good idea in the comments. I can't believe I didn't think about this. This is brilliant. Go cut your plastic now and number it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you know exactly which door it goes to, because that way you can just pull it out, put it on the door, stick it down, move on to the next one. Not going, oh crap, what's the measurement on this one? Okay, let me cut it, whatever. You're not going to have time for that. So if you got the stuff that you can stick and take a hairdryer to, hopefully you got a couple of people. That's the first way to do it. Second way, if you just got plastic sheeting, duct tape around the edge. What you're trying to do with this plastic is to keep any of the radioactive material from blowing into the house. Now, other things that you need to do. You ever remember the commercials for a little product called Great Stuff? Okay, they take off the the switch plate on your light switches and they'd spray in there and go, this is, how much hot air or how much cold air gets into your house through your electric. Yeah, Okay, same thing. So you need to be able to cover up all your light switches, all your electrical outlets as well. That's something that people don't think of. Anywhere that air can get in, so can radioactive material, fallout. So then the next thing you need to do is have something in the house that can circulate the air, because otherwise, if you're completely sealed in, all right, now you're basically in a big plastic bag, you will run out of oxygen. So you need to have some way to create oxygen, i.e., plants in the house, and some sort of purifier that's running in the house. But how many miles away from the fallout do you need to be where it does not affect you? There is no specific. I'd say if you're 100 miles away, you're probably pretty safe. Okay. But again, depends on the size of the blast. Sunshine Me, please post my sources for seeds. Well, I would. One has come off my list this year, which is Burpee. After my whole potato fiasco, I was not happy, so I won't be buying from them anymore. But one that I do like is Haas Tools. But at this point of the year, guys, you're late getting anything in, but most of the places are sold out of seeds. So I mean, you can still find them in the grocery stores and Walmart. That's going to be your only option at this point. Yeah. So, good luck getting some heirloom seeds, but get whatever you can right now. If you're still about planting outside. Jen Boyles, what about growing indoors? Yes, you can, but the issue with growing indoors is the light. Okay, I mean it's not hard to put dirt and water in there, but it's getting light. So, in order to do it, you would need either a huge picture window that you get, eastern sun, or you're going to have the red and blue grow lights to do it, because white light will work fine for growing greenery, but you're not going to grow any fruits on your plants. You could grow, lettuces and things like that, which are fine, but there's not a whole lot of nutrients in some of that stuff. So you need to get, if you want to grow inside, you're going to need to get those red and blue grow lights, or have an eastern facing window to do it, or southern facing window, I guess, would work as well. Let's see. Robert Bates, status level of U.S. troops. Last I had heard was yesterday, 160 moved in a advisory capacity, which, as many as you commented, is the same way we went into Afghanistan, the same way we went into Vietnam. That's usually how we start. Okay. This is my thought, and again, this is going to be me speculating, but it's, again, logical. We all know that Afghanistan, and we're removing troops from Afghanistan by May 1st, okay, 2 weeks from now. Now, with all the equipment, all the troops that we have there, and again, think of the proximity where we are. Do you think they're actually going to move all that equipment and all that personnel back to the United States? Or do you think they're going to go, you know what? We can move this up here in the storage, say, in, I don't know, Turkey, okay? And then it's a hop, skip, and a jump around the Black Sea, and we've got a whole bunch of equipment right there in Ukraine if we need it, okay? That's my guess, is you're going to have a lot of that equipment parked and left over in Europe or the Middle East. Or Turkey is basically where I'm figuring it's going to be. And we'll see what happens with the troops. Troops you can move pretty quickly. Equipment, not so much. But that's kind of where I see that one going. Linda S., after nuclear, does the soil and the water ever recover? Yeah, but you and I aren't going to be around long enough to see that. So, depending on where you are, you look at Chernobyl, and it's still not safe to live there. And that was what, 35, 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, something like that. It's still not safe to live there. Kathy T., you can sprout for a fresh garden. Yeah, you can, but think of how many sprouts you're going to need to eat to fill yourself up. I mean, you need more than just sprouts. Tana Bednarsik says stock up on lentils. Yeah, I mean, again, same thing. Anything we've all talked about. your lentils, your beans, whatever, the basic rice and beans stuff. Lentils is another good one to have. Aisha, do you think tips will hedge against inflation? How early can the funds be pulled out? Uh, Depending on how you do it. I mentioned this a week or so back when I did it. If you buy the tips directly from the government, okay, then you're going to try to have to sell them on the open market, whether you can't. If you buy an exchange traded fund of tips, then you have liquidity because they trade just like a stock. So depending on what you want to do, the tips are with tips. I'd probably suggest buying an ETF. That would be a tips ETF, exchange traded fund. So that way, you have liquidity that you could sell it, in 30 seconds or whatever it would be. Billy the cab driver, investing in a gas mask and an NBC suit would probably be a good idea right now. Yes, okay, I mentioned this in my video the other day, and then of course you could tell that the world has passed me by in some respects because a lot of guys who've served more recently than I do said that we changed gas masks in the late 90s from the M17s that I was used to, and now the US uses the ones with a canister that comes out your chin. So I stand corrected on that one, and I do thank all of those who got me up to speed on what we're using now. I was going off of my own knowledge. But yeah, gas mask and NBC suit, if you can find them, great. The deal is, with the filters on the gas masks too, there's different filters for different things. So make sure you know that too. You can get a filter that's going to be for CS gas, and it's not going to do you any good for, anthrax. So I'm just making something up, but make sure you're checking that out too. Don Maurice has add freeze-dried food to preps for longer storage time. Absolutely, no question whatsoever. Just don't make the mistake of making all your preps freeze-dried food. Okay, you'll go broke. Okay, but those should be your long-term things. You should have near-term, intermediate-term, long-term storage. Know what you're going to do. Your near-term is the stuff that's in your everyday working pantry. Your intermediate stuff is the canned goods you have put away. Your long-term stuff is your Mountain House or Wise Foods or whatever it would be. Tanner Bednarczyk, would a greenhouse help if nuclear comes? Absolutely, because again, you're covered in plastic or glass or whatever it's going to be. So none of that none of that fallout is going to be able to get into your plants. So if it is a sealed system, which a greenhouse is, okay, it should keep everything inside protected. The problem that you have now, of course, is you have to go outside to get to your greenhouse. So this goes back to the last comment about having an NBC suit. So, but after a couple of weeks, being inside a couple of weeks, and I think it's about 15 days after any sort of blast, it then becomes safe to be outside, or safer, a lot safer, because then the fallout is basically all dissipated and, hit the ground. Let's see. Northern Hillbilly, vitamins with any food is a good idea. Hey, you must talk to my wife. She's sticking vitamins in my hand every day, going, here, take this, take this, take this, and I'm peeing bright yellow, so makes her happy. Let's see. Rooster says, got another 14 ounces of silver on the way. Good deal. All right, so let's talk about silver real quick, just because I know somebody had asked about it in an email too. So I guess silver closed at about 2608 or something like that Friday, spot price. So you're probably paying about 31 now if you can get it with premium. Okay. Like I said, pullbacks, if you can buy anything in that 24, 25 range is a good price. Eventually it's not going to get there. Every time I'd see it back down under 25, I'd grab some more if I could. So I think I've got 7 more ounces coming too. But I still think you're going to see silver be in the mid 30s by the end of the year, spot. But again, guys, remember, silver is not something that you're looking to It's not Bitcoin. Okay, you're not going to put $100 in and get $500 out of silver. Okay, that's not what you're doing. What you're doing with silver is, okay, I'm trying to think what's something that costs 20. Well, let's just say, for example, 10 gallons of gas right now is, bear with me, I know it's different. Okay, 10 gallons of gas is $25 right now. That's about the price of silver. So right now you could take $25 and buy 10 gallons of gas, or you can buy an ounce of silver. A year from now, with everything that's going on, gas is going to be $4 a gallon. Okay. So now either you can take your $40 and buy 10 gallons of gas, or you can take that one piece of silver that you're buying now for 25 and buy gas, because like I said, it's probably gonna be up in mid 30s or something, and buy your gas that way. So what it is, silver is your hedge against inflation. It's wealth preservation. You're not going to get rich buying silver unless you're buying tons of it, and that's you're not going to have these astronomical returns. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to preserve your wealth. So again, if silver backs down around $25, I'd be buying again. But eventually it's not going to go back down. We're going to go up. I mean, silver's kind of tested that support a couple of times. If silver gets through 28, you'll see it up in the low to mid 30s pretty quick. CMAX made it in the house. Hello. So we got another moderator in there. I've only seen one comment you guys have booted, so you guys are keeping it pretty good and clean tonight, I guess. Not bad with 1,000 people in here. Let's see what else we got. Bear Wilkie, people are still protesting in different cities. Yeah, I saw something today, or all over the place, all over the country today. There was, I guess, some noon protest that everybody was supposed to take part in, and a lot of places did. Foggy Mountain Man, I'm studying up on hydroponic growing. It's all new to me. Have you done anything of it? I have never done hydroponics in my life. I understand the concept of it. It makes a lot of sense to me. But the other part of it is I think of, okay, you're running water through a pipe or whatever and planting in there, but you still need all that other stuff, the minerals and everything that have to be in the soil, NPK, just, so you're still pumping all the fertilizers and everything like that you need through. I haven't looked into it. I understand what it is, but I have never done anything with it. Ricky Beerlar, if the DEFCON goes down to 3, do you think they'll try and do martial law? Okay, complete different. That's comparing apples and oranges. One does not have anything to do with the other. Texas Janet Garden and Prep. What happens when crypto is controlled by the government? Like everything else the government touches, it goes to shit. You can keep an eye on, if you want to watch this, keep an eye on what China's doing right now with the digital yuan. Okay, they are doing a crypto in China, and apparently they're giving some of it away to people in Africa to try to use it. They're trying to obviously convince them to start using the yuan as currency. But yeah, when crypto is controlled by the government, then it's just a train wreck. There's nothing backing it. It's pulled out of thin air. Oh, I have to go mining for it. No, you don't. Okay, you're typing in ones and zeros on a computer. That's not mining. Okay, so yeah. I know half of you don't agree with me. Crypto is a fool's game. Dave L., do I think if we go to war, there'll be a draft? Absolutely, 100%, no doubt. Okay. We only have 1.2 million people in active duty as is. Okay. Obviously, your reservists get called up, but 1.2 million people between the 4 major branches in the military is squat. You look at how many people that we had in World War II. The Soviets had killed 20 times the amount of people that we have on active duty military right now. Yeah, we go to war and you are going to have a draft, especially if it's any sort of ground war. If it's completely cyber, no. But if there's any sort of ground war, yeah, absolutely. Steve, how do you access crypto and grid down? You don't. There's one of my reasons why I don't like it. And like I said earlier, if they do this wargaming thing and all of a sudden we have grid down, you have no money. So, I'm sorry, I can't hold crypto, so therefore it's imaginary to me. Let's see. Teresa, women should not be president either. Okay, hate me. I think we're just not built for that job. Actually, I'm not going to hate you, but I'm going to disagree. I think a woman make a better president. Not Hillary, and certainly not Kamala. Okay, but yeah, no. I mean, I think women. Pardon my French. Women don't get in a dick measuring contest. Okay, guys do. I think there's a little bit more rational thinking out of women. Let's see, where are we? Ace Ventura, why would anybody want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Yep, I agree. Dove Jacobs, women do not belong. That tells you how far behind I am. Do not belong in combat units, just a physical thing. That's my point. Okay. Like I said, I mean, I served the intelligence corps. We had very good women do that. I mean, there's no question that there's certain jobs that men and women are better suited for. Okay, and it's just based on physicality. All right, got to go back up here. Let's see. Sweet Savory Word says hydroponics is harder than you think, and you have to have light. Yeah, and obviously you have to have light. And like I said, I understand what it is. I've just never done it. Firefly Farm, what is the age to draft? I believe it's between 18 and 35. And I believe if you are over 35, if you had prior service, like if you served for 2 years between 18 and 20, then you could actually use those 2 years and go up to 37 or something like that. That was the way it used to be. I don't know, but that wasn't with the draft. So, but 18 to 35, I believe, is Happy Mac saying the same thing. Okay. Vuzin XD, do I really think a draft would happen? If we go into a ground war, yeah, because we just don't have enough people. America First, I'd go back in if they wanted me. I honestly, I think for those of us that are vets, I think we're probably going to be the defense force. I mean, if anything, because if you're sending all the active duty to foreign land, who's going to protect the country? And I think we'd be the ones that would be the defense force. Kitty Webb should be a 21 to draft. Okay, so this was, if you guys remember me saying this, if y'all remember where the Democrats came out a couple of months back and said that they wanted to change the voting age to 16. And I had said this on either a live stream or a video, but I wrote my congressman. I said, go tell whichever idiot in Congress put that up. I said, tell them you'll be all for it as long as we can change the draft age 16 and see what they say. Okay. Because you can't, this is the one that never made sense to me. Okay. I can drive a car when I'm 16. I can get shot at when I'm 18, but I can't have a beer until I'm 21. That never made sense to me. Is that I was old enough to get shot at, but I was not old enough to have a beer between 18 and 21. I'm fine with the 16-year-old driving age. I guess that's changed to 17 and 18 in a lot of places since I was a kid. My daughter didn't get her license till she was 17. But yeah, as for the age and everything like that, I mean, 18 is a good age. If I'm considered an adult at 18, I can get shot at at 18. I can make my own decisions without parental approval as 18. I should be able to do anything else when I'm 18. But, don't need to change that. You can vote, you can get drafted, you can have a beer at 18 is the way it should be. Uh, let's see. Mr. Gooches, if crypto's a fool's game, why are institutions investing in it? You're missing out. And maybe I am. Okay. I'm not, to me, the risk isn't worth the reward. Okay. Like I said, it could go from 62 to 7, right? I'm not interested in losing 75% of my money. Okay. Not at my age. Hey, maybe if I got a little bit to play with and I'm 20 years old, I can take a shot. And if I lose it, great. I'm too close to retirement to do something like that. Sure, everybody wants to get rich quick. Nobody wants to get poor quick, and crypto could do both. Montana Grizz fan, sorry for being late. I have to take care of an old dog. Well, dude, we were going to wait. We were going to hold the whole live stream up for you, but finally just decided we couldn't. You should, have to apologize. It's like, that's up to you. Take care of it. Everything else is more important. Okay, a couple of you guys are talking about a topic I'm not going to get into at all. Let's see. Got to go back because we scrolled up again. Okay, now I'm close enough. Yeah, Jules Goldstein says Candace Owen. Yeah, I'd love to see Candace Owen run for something. Don't really care about Larry Trump running for, was it North Carolina? I think she's running for Congress. That doesn't matter to me. But yeah, Candace Owens, I'd like to see her run. Let's see. The Rooster. Hey, women make great mothers and men do a good job being fathers. Remember when? Yeah, what is it now? 60% of the kids in the United States are raised in a single family household. So, NS Norfolk, good day all. I just retired from the Coast Guard after 20 years. Congratulations. All right. Thank you for your long service. Firefly Farm, should people join the reserves now? If they want to. I mean, again, it's, military service is not mandatory. It's something you have to want to do. Okay, it's very hard to take somebody who doesn't want to do it and convince them that it's a good idea. You got to want to do it. So, if people want to, go for it. But again, remember, joining the reserves doesn't mean you just go to drill every week. You still have to go do, basic training, and you've got to do an AIT. So, depending on what it is, I guess, basic is now what, 12 weeks? And, depending on what your AIT, I mean, my AIT was 55 weeks long. So, you could still be away from home for, in my case, it was I wasn't even reservist. But it was, a year and a half just for my initial training. Jerry G, how much water do you store and how do you store it? As much as you can, any way you can. Okay. Bottles of water, 55-gallon drums of water. If you've got a pool, that counts. If you've got a pond, that counts. If you've got a well, that's great. Rain barrels, any way you can store water is the building block of life. Without it, you could have all the canned goods in the world, but if you don't have water, you're toast. Okay. So, the most important thing that you can feasibly have is water and a way to purify water. Can't stand you. If the ground game starts here, we are the defense. Absolutely. It's going to be all the civilians. And, then you're going to need to have leadership amongst that civilian militia, if you will. And inevitably, those are going to turn out to be the military guys and the police. Okay. Just because they understand how that the strategies kind of work. Not saying all of them are going to be good at it, but, they're going to know a little bit more than the guy who's been a baker for, no offense to bakers, but the guy who's been a baker for 40 years, and now all of a sudden he's going, okay, I got to defend my city or my neighborhood or whatever, not quite going to be the same. Uh, Deb K, does it still matter if you have an only child with the draft? Can't answer the question because we don't have a draft. Okay, I mean those things will be brought up if they reinstate the draft. Sin Melly, you could drink on post. Now who knows? When I was in, again, okay, so when I was under 21 was 85 and 86 when I was in. We weren't supposed to, but we could get into the NCO club, and they kind of look the other way. But every once in a while, they'd throw us out, and then the next night we'd be back, and nobody'd say anything. Uh, but yeah, now forget it. Okay. Uh, let's see. Deanna Walters, will a water filter clean out radiation? No. Uh, kiss my grits. Let's hope BLM protesters get drafted. I could just imagine. I mean, the drill sergeants now can't do half of what they used to be able to do. I could just imagine some of my drill sergeants, and some of the kids now. I mean, that would have been hilarious to watch because they would have eaten these kids for lunch. Okay. Looking at. Did I actually get to the bottom? Somebody, Tom said Big Berkey here about. I'm hoping it's not talking about filtering out radiation. You can't fill out radiation out of water. Okay, if you could filter out the radiation out of water, you wouldn't have all this stuff with that going on in Fukushima right now, where they're saying they're going to dump all this irradiated water into the Pacific. Okay, you know you can't get the radiation out. Radiation is not touchable, I guess, if you will. Are there any other questions? Okay. Our drill sergeant had to pass out tissues. There you go, North. How long after the initial hit until we travel back to our home if we are at work? You're probably 2 weeks, like I said earlier, 2 weeks in that building before it's going to be remotely safe to go outside the building. So yeah, if you're at work and the bomb goes off, yeah, you're at the office for the next 2 weeks. So hence the reason to have your go bag with you if you got to do something like that, because the candy machine in the lobby is not going to be enough to feed everybody there for a long time. That's where you're going to get into the issues, is when you are away, and let's say you are in an office. How are you going to eat? I mean, you can go in the bathroom and Navy shower, but how are you going to eat? That's going to be interesting. And if you're in the office, my guess is you're not the only one there. There's 100 other people. It's like, oh, there's 100 candy bars in the machine. Okay, great. That's one candy bar per person for 2 weeks. So, things to kind of look at. Richard, how's my poison ivy this week? Well, I don't know. Can you? Yeah, kind of. It ain't good. I mean, it's not as bad as it could be, but I mean, I'm still itchy. Oops. Hang on. Which one are you pointing at?
All right.
I already answered it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, she was just showing me one here. All right. Okay, so North Shore says night off tonight, guys and gals. No live stream. Going to watch a cheesy movie. Though I did see before we went on, Prepping 101 is going to come back tonight. So if y'all are looking for somewhere to go afterwards, I know Prepping 101's on for Saturday night. But okay, that would be pretty much the gang. So All right, guys, I got some seedlings I got to go water, and then it's bedtime. So I will have a good one. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all in the morning. Pinball out.